Friends, we can all see that many white bloggers have millions of followers. Please support me too because my followers are still few. Black bloggers also deserve to be famous. My friends, let's unite and lift each other up. Please press subscribe button and like. The sharp metallic click of the airplane door unlocking echoed through the terminal. In that instant, a seemingly small mistake set off a storm that could sweep away the careers of an entire flight crew. They saw a black woman dressed simply, and in a single glance, they assigned her a place beneath where she truly belonged. They had no idea that in dismissing her, they had just cast aside their own future. Amara Ellison, the new owner of Sky Lux Airlines, sat calmly in the lounge, her heart steady as she observed the bustling airport. When the announcement for her flight came, she rose and approached the gate. Ethan Morales, the young agent, greeted her warmly, scanning her ticket for seat 1A. But as she stepped into the cabin, the atmosphere shifted. Two flight attendants, Karen Doyle and Lila Jensen, exchanged glances. Karen's cold voice cut through the air. "Your ticket." Amara held up her phone, showing her confirmed seat. Karen narrowed her eyes, dismissing her. "There must be a system error. First class is full today. Economy is down that aisle." Amara's heartbeat quickened, the familiar sting of exclusion resurfacing. But she was no longer powerless. "My ticket says 1A. I will sit in the seat I paid for." The words landed like an earthquake in the cabin. Karen, taken aback, insisted that the seat was occupied, but Amara stood firm, her calm demeanor radiating authority as tensions escalated. Gregory Shaw, the purser, appeared, siding with Karen. "Ma'am, please return to the gate for clarification. We cannot delay the flight for one passenger." Amara understood this was not just about a seat, it was about a cultural rot within the company she had just acquired. Drawing a deep breath, she declared, "No, we will resolve this here right now." The cabin fell silent, all eyes on her. Amara moved past Karen, her presence commanding respect. She stopped at the empty seat 1A, turning to face the crew. "This seat is empty," she stated, her voice steadied as Karen's arrogance cracked, but instead of admitting fault, she lied again. "This seat is reserved for a VIP." The man in seat 1B, however, quickly dismissed her claim, enjoying the unfolding drama. The murmurs among passengers grew louder, and Amara seized the moment. "Enough," she said, her voice cutting through the tension. "I'm not just a passenger. I am Dr. Amara Ellison, CEO of Sky Lux Airlines." The revelation sent shockwaves through the cabin. The crew's faces drained of color as they realized the gravity of their mistake. Amara's eyes locked onto Karen. "You have exposed the cultural disease eating away at this company. I will not allow it to survive another day." The atmosphere thickened with anticipation as passengers recorded the unfolding drama, witnessing a confrontation that would change the airline forever. Just as the tension reached its peak, Amara pulled out a satellite phone. "Jonathan, activate code Indigo immediately." The cabin fell silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. The voice of air traffic control soon echoed through the speakers, confirming a ground stop on the flight. The crew stood frozen, realizing they had underestimated the woman they had tried to dismiss. Amara's calm authority transformed the cabin into a courtroom, and the fate of the flight crew hung in the balance. Authority signed under Ellison. Alpha-level priority. All flight operations suspended until direct instruction is given, the voice of air traffic control announced. The realization hit the crew like a thunderclap. They were no longer in control. Amara turned to the passengers, her expression resolute. "You are witnessing a cultural collapse within this airline. I will not allow this to continue." The murmurs among the passengers grew louder, a mix of shock and intrigue. They were captivated by the unfolding drama, their phones recording every moment. Karen, now visibly shaken, attempted to regain her composure. "This is unacceptable. You can't just..." But Amara cut her off, her voice steady and unwavering. "I can and I will. You have disrespected not just me, but every passenger on this flight." The tension in the cabin was palpable. Passengers exchanged glances, some nodding in agreement, others pulling out their phones to capture the moment. Amara's presence commanded attention, and she knew this was her moment to make a statement. From this point forward, Sky Lux will be a different airline, she declared, her voice rising with conviction. We will not tolerate discrimination or prejudice. Every passenger deserves respect, regardless of their appearance or background. Just then, the cockpit door swung open, and Captain Richard Hale stepped out, his expression a mix of confusion and authority. What is going on here? He demanded, taking in the scene before him. Amara turned to him, her gaze unwavering. Captain Hale, we are in the midst of a cultural reckoning. I expect your support in making Sky Lux a better airline for everyone. The captain hesitated, caught off guard by the intensity of the situation. The passengers watched, breathless, as the confrontation unfolded. Do you understand the implications of what you're saying? Captain Hale asked, his voice steady but laced with concern. This could disrupt the entire operation. Amara stepped closer, her voice firm. What is more disruptive is allowing a culture of discrimination to fester within this airline. We cannot fly into the future with outdated attitudes. The cabin buzzed with anticipation, the passengers leaning in, eager to see how the captain would respond. Would he side with the crew, or would he support the new CO in her quest for change? Captain Hale looked around the cabin, taking in the faces of the passengers who had witnessed the unfolding drama. He could feel the weight of their expectations. Finally, he nodded slowly. You're right. We need to address this. Amara's heart raced as she sensed the shift in the room. Thank you, Captain. Together, we can create a new standard for Sky Lux. Just then, Karen interjected, her voice trembling. But this is a mistake. You can't just change everything based on one incident. Amara turned to her, her expression resolute. This is not just about one incident, Karen. This is about the future of this airline. We will not tolerate disrespect, and we will not allow anyone to feel less than they are. The passengers erupted in applause, their support for Amara growing stronger. The crew stood in stunned silence, realizing they were on the wrong side of history. Amara took a deep breath, feeling the momentum shift in her favor. I will ensure that every complaint is addressed, and every employee is held accountable. This is just the beginning. As she spoke, the atmosphere shifted. The passengers began to applaud, their support for Amara growing stronger. The flight attendants exchanged worried glances, realizing they were on the wrong side of history. Amara took a deep breath, feeling the momentum shift in her favor. I will not allow this airline to be defined by outdated attitudes. We will rise above and create a culture of inclusivity and respect. Just then, the cockpit door swung open, and Captain Richard Hale stepped out, his expression a mix of confusion and authority. What is going on here? He demanded, taking in the scene before him. Amara turned to him, her gaze unwavering. Captain Hale, we are in the midst of a cultural reckoning. I expect your support in making Sky Lux a better airline for everyone. The captain hesitated, caught off guard by the intensity of the situation. The passengers watched, breathless, as the confrontation unfolded. Do you want to know the fate of the heroes? Please post part 2. Subscribe to the channel and continue watching. Your opinion and support are important to me. Leave it in the comments. Thank you.